Welcome to Bayou Time. I'm Jacob DeGate, and it's now my pleasure to be joined by Lafourche Parish District Attorney Kristine Russell. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, obviously your office wasn't the only one that's affected by the hurricane, but it was affected. But you're trying to get, I guess, help out the people with travel and situations. What can you announce today?
Sure, yeah. Since Hurricane Ida, of course, everybody's just trying to get back to some sense of normalcy. Unfortunately, we had like a satellite office down the bayou in Galliano so that we can service the lower part of the parish. You know, our parish is so long, it takes you over an hour to get from one end to the other. And so if people want to come ask a question, if they have child support issues, they really would have to travel all the way to the north part of the parish to do that, to come to our office. And so since Hurricane Ida, that building was destroyed where our office was, and we've just been trying desperately to see how can we get back down the bayou to serve that part of the parish. And so we reached out around the holidays to Mayor Bouziga in Golden Meadow and asked whether or not he would allow us to go into the Golden Meadow Town Hall on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which the days we did before Hurricane Ida, and he said absolutely. And so at the Golden Meadow Town Hall on Tuesdays, we have someone from our child support division there from 9 to 12. People can go in and ask any questions they have or make payments. And then on Thursdays today, we had an assistant district attorney from 9 to 12 who's there to answer any questions. And Miss Lynette Pierce, who's also from that area, who helped us at the old location, is back. So we started that this week. We're happy to be back in the lower part of the parish and happy to serve them again.
Okay, and is that the same services that were being provided at the satellite building?
It is. You know, we would go once a week, and just it surprised me often how people, you know, having to come to the north part of the parish to just talk about maybe a speeding ticket, or just say, hey, can you help me with this? The gas money and the time that have to be spent. And so we knew that it was important that we got back down that bayou so that we were there for them and they can come in. And so at our old location, of course, people were used to it and they came more frequently. We just started this week. We're trying to get the word out. And hopefully people can again start utilizing our services at the Golden Meadow Town Hall.
And I guess with dealing with the public, it's always important to have that face-to-face interaction rather than, you know, just over the phone. I know when, you know, we do duty over here in Terrebonne, you get a lot more accomplished if the person's sitting there right in your office.
Yeah, and our job is to serve the public. We're there for them. And so it's an opportunity for us to talk to folks. Oftentimes people come in and we can't help them. Maybe it's not something our office does, but it allows us to meet the public, let them know that we're there for them, let them know what we do in our office. And so I'm just excited that we're back. We're very grateful that Mayor Bouziga is allowing us to be back, and we're going to continue to be there as long as they allow us to stay.
Now, as far as, I guess, all the pending matters that have happened, that were pending at the time of the hurricane, has all that been straightened out? Have people, or I guess, how has your office been handling that for people that may be displaced and when they have to come to court? Yeah,
that's a great question. So people are still reaching out to us. Of course, they'll call if they've missed a court date. I find that our judges and, of course, our office very understanding to the things that people are going through and they have been going through. When people have missed court and they come, maybe they moved to Texas or Mississippi and they're back, we try to work with them. People have maybe missed pay-by dates during the hurricane, shortly thereafter. They may have missed a court date. We're certainly giving them permission to go to make those payments. And so I think everybody in our justice system understands that some people are just on hard times. So we're trying to assist them with that. When people call our office to let us know that for some reason they have missed their court date, we try to get them back in their division, get them in front of the judge so that they can explain why for some reason they failed to that court appearance.
Okay. Now, as far as your, I guess, your normal court programs that the district attorney office runs, is everything back up and running, or, you know, from the hurricane? Do you still have all your staff in place?
Yeah, so we were blessed that we lost no staff members. None of them were displaced. They all came back shortly thereafter. We continue to operate from the time of the hurricane to the present time. We continue to provide services within our office. That never lapsed. We always had our phone, once they came back into operation, our phone lines were open and we were there for the public. We went to court each and every day once it opened up. And so we've been very lucky, whether it's our child support department, whether it's been our child advocacy center, our PTI program, assistance on duty, juvenile division. Everybody, despite some hardships, has continued to serve our public, and I'm very, very proud of that. Now, our office itself, the physical office, of course, took some damage, and so if you come to our office, you may notice tiles missing, maybe some sticky floors, maybe a wall or two that's missing, but that hasn't stopped us, of course, from bringing folks in. We still have some COVID measures in place for some that want us to have it. We do have some plexiglass still up for those who are afraid and want to make sure we're cautious with them as well. But we have continued to provide services, and I'm so extremely proud of our staff who made sure that no matter what, the people of Lafourche Parish, that we're still fighting to keep them protected and still fighting to provide the services that we promised that we would do.
Well, I guess it's really important. I know, you know, the members of your staff, they're all people, residents too, that have their own problems, but putting those problems aside to come to work, it's very important towards the public.
Yeah, and you have to be understanding some of them had to leave sometimes to go meet an adjuster or do some of the things they needed to do personally, but really everybody is back. Everybody is doing the job that they promised they would do, and they're doing a great job. I'm very blessed.
Pantry Program, can you tell me a little bit about that?
So after Hurricane Ida, you know, supplies were coming in, of course, from generous churches and other folks around the state and other states. And as these supplies came in, of course, we did distributions. And then one of our assistants, Lisa Ogeron, came up with the idea that let's take these supplies and see if we could start pantries in our schools, those schools that needed it. And so we offered to all of the schools, public schools and Catholic schools, to start a pantry, however big they wanted, however small they wanted it. We would supply it once a month as long as we could. We were blessed that the Lorio Foundation gave us a donation. The Catholic Diocese gave us a donation as well for the private schools. And we were able to start that pantry in all of our schools. Now, as in January, we still service about 6 or 7 of our schools. Once a month we go, they give us a list of the things that are needed, and we go restock. This allows our teachers to see which children maybe need to take some supplies home. The families that are in need, they can do it discreetly, and so that we're making sure that our families are still being fed. I hope that we can continue our pantry project for many years to come. That's my wish, because I know some of these children, they just need it, and if we can provide it, then we need to.
Okay, and that's one program. Is there some other school programs that you have out there?
Yeah, so starting in January, we really have, I hate to say getting back to normal, because everybody knows this is not normal, but we are trying our best to get back to making sure that we serve the public and we put all our programs back in play. And so our school programs have always been very important to us. In the past 2 years, it's been very difficult to get back into our school and see our children for many reasons. But January came and we really started getting back at it. And we have a personal empowerment program that we do for boys and girls. We talk about, for girls, about building self-esteem and confidence, and our boys, good decision making. We're back in some of our schools with that program, which I'm so happy about. Our Domino Program, which was started by my predecessor, Cam Morvant, where each March or April we go to all of our senior classes, our 4 high schools, and we talk about drinking and driving and texting and driving, and it's a powerful program. We usually have a mom or a dad come talk about the loss of their child, and it's just powerful. And so the past 2 years, we haven't been able to have that program. We reached out to our high schools this year, and they are welcoming us back, and I'm very excited that's back on our calendars. So that's a program that's near and dear to me, and I'm glad that we're able to do it. Recently, we partnered with Nichols State, with one of the fraternities, to do also a drinking and driving presentation. We have our wobble goggles that you put on, and of course they simulate being intoxicated at different levels, and we do different activities with them. So we were able to go to Nichols. We have some other partnerships with them coming up with our sororities about domestic abuse. So I'm very excited that we're getting back into our community. We're able to speak to our children again, because that for us has always been very, very important.
Sure. That's what, you know, when you think of the district attorney's office, a lot of people normally just think of, you know, the prosecuting that they do. Well, you know, but you have all these programs out there. Why is that important, I guess, to get that early intervention?
Yeah, that's a
going?
great question. People do just assume all we do is prosecute. We put people in jail. But I think nowadays, most of our district attorneys realize that one of the things that we have to do, if we really want to make sure that we're making a change in our communities, is to be proactive. And so how is one proactive? Well, we really want to get to the root. We want to get to our children because we want to teach them about good decision making. And maybe, just maybe, if you reach one or two, they won't make that bad decision and won't get in the system. So we really think that being proactive, especially in our schools, letting them see who we are and that we're not just about putting people in jail is very, very important. One of the other things that we think about being proactive is about transparency. Of course, in social media, we do have a presence. We try to reach out to our elderly, our senior citizens. We have a program called Senior Sources that we're trying to work up again for the summer. And so all those things, whether it be our children, whether it be our senior citizens, some of our most vulnerable victims, or our college students, I think for us to be proactive is the only way that we're going to make a change in our community.
Sure. And until that change comes, you're still going to have some, prosecuting to do. Can you tell me, have y'all been back doing trials, jury trials now? Of course, you had the break with COVID, and then you had the hurricane, so docket's pretty backed up, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 years that we were really not able to conduct business the way that we usually had. And the justice system moves slowly on a good day. And so here we are really 2 years behind, and we have so many trials that we need to get done. So starting in January, we were blessed that pretty much all of our courtrooms, our 5 courtrooms are back. Of course, they have damage too, but we were able to conduct business in them. We had 2 jury trials in January in 2 different divisions of court. They ran very smoothly. We were able to pick a jury, which we were wondering with COVID whether we would be able to. And we actually started jury trial in another division. On Monday, we'll be picking a jury. And so I can officially say that we're back to trying cases and back to prosecuting.
Okay. We're talking a little bit, during the break about one challenge that took place, and we'll only have a couple of seconds, but, dealing with the unanimous jury, requirement now. How has that affected things?
Of course, when you try cases, even when it was 10 out of 12, you want to make sure that justice is served, and you want a 12 out of 12. It means that now, of course, in jury selection is very, very important. It may mean that we get compromise verdicts now. It may mean that it may be a little bit harder to get some of those cases that are not as strong as others. But that's okay. It's the right thing to do, and we're going to continue to prosecute our cases and be in court.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming and
Thank you
talk
for
to us.
having me.
We appreciate it. Stay tuned for more right here on HTV.